So this is the absolute worst case scenario. During your Amazon FBA product research, you find something that you like, or heck, maybe you just got so tired of product research and you just settled on your idea and you're moving forward. So you drop $3,000, $5,000, maybe even $20,000 on this product and it's a total bust. And your investment is totally gone. I've seen this so many times. I've done it so many times myself in my first few years, losing $15,000 in my first 3 products. So how the heck do we know that the product idea we found is actually the right one? This is a little trickier than you think, but I have 2 options here that should cover everyone from small budget to large budget, any niche and in any scenario, to make sure you don't drop your total savings into a dud product and know exactly if the product is going to work or not before you invest. So option 1. And for this one to make sense, I have to explain why it's so tricky for beginners to know if a product would actually work or not. Of course, as you know, there's a lot of nuance in product research and selling on Amazon. You can't only follow data you see on Jungle Scout, Helium 10, Viral Launch, or whatever product research app you're using. It's just not super reliable data. They use estimates based off equations, which you can see them even emitting here. Another thing to worry about is even if you do find a good product on a software, everyone else on YouTube or some video course are using the exact same methods you're using. So that product is doomed from the start because it's going to have hundreds of thousands of eyeballs on it, which just inflates the competition, creates a price war that eventually destroys all margins for all competitors. So we can't just follow the data. So what can we follow? Well, that is something that just can't be taught. It's through a gut feel, getting experience of launching products yourself. Well, poop. That just makes it a terrible option because to get that experience, you have to guess and check and probably lose thousands of dollars of your investment just to learn, unless you get extremely lucky somehow. This is how I personally learned. And let me tell you, it sucked. I lost a lot of money and a lot of sleep because of this. So how can we avoid this and not doom ourselves from the start? That leads us to option 1. We buy in very low minimum order quantities or low MOQs to test out the products before making a large investment. Now, before you start telling me that margins are too low doing it this way, or suppliers won't give me low MOQs, just stop. This is a myth and actually doesn't matter. And I'll explain how here in a second. But if we're able to actually test a product on the market before a big investment, we can actually get real data on the market instead of just guessing. And I don't care if your margins are terrible with such a small order because you missed out on bulk pricing. If we can test out a product at break even, which is crazy awesome, or even if we lose $500 to test the product out, that is so much better than just guessing if it will work or not with a $5,000 order or $10,000 order or whatever it is. With these smaller orders, we can also have a lot more tries to learn and test, not just be broke after a $5,000 failure. We can try multiple products this way and get real data to figure out what to double down on. Then on to the MOQ problem. MOQs are negotiable, especially if you're willing to pay a bit more per unit, which is fine because to buy 100 units or 200 units and expect a 40% margin is absolutely insane. We can get to those margins later when we prove the product works and then buy it in bulk. And if your perfect supplier won't give you that MOQ, go to another and don't worry about perfecting the product yet. You can do that once the concept works. If you got a few bad reviews, who cares? You just start a new listing with your new product that you just perfected. And this will put you in an incredible spot because if your crap product worked, imagine what it'll be like when you perfected one and that hits that same market you just tested out with your crap one. Now on to option 2. Say you don't want to do this testing, money's not as much of an issue, and you want to get there fast. To me, you're only left with one option then that will give you the best odds of buying in bulk right away. And that is finding a mentor or some experienced seller who started many products, been successful, learned a lot of mistakes on the way, and essentially just someone who has done that before, been down that road, and can help you avoid the mistakes that they went through first. So when you find this person, this mentor or experienced seller, you want them to check your product to avoid any hidden red flags, which there's a ton, because there's a lot of traps out there that might look like perfect products at first glance, but end up being absolute disasters or duds that you invest in. Then you're stuck with this thing you can't get rid of and you sink your investment. You also want this mentor to help perfect your angle to the market, which can come in a ton of forms, whether that's branding a certain way to fit that customer audience, niching down to a certain subset of keywords that are untapped in a bigger market, adding value by bundling, or hitting a certain use case of a product that is missing, and the list goes on. Essentially, you want to make sure you are 2 steps ahead of the competition when you launch, giving you the longest runway possible to launch and scale your product so you can cement yourself as a leader of that category, of those keywords. That's when you really have an asset that grows over time, year after year. Now, finding this person can be the toughest part, but networking in the Amazon space can help. We got Facebook groups, we have Instagram, wherever, right? So talk to the community, find some friends that are doing the same online. And that could be a good first step to making those connections. Not networking in the space, not finding a mentor, not asking questions is probably the biggest regret I have in this space. It cost me so much money and mistakes. You have no idea. If I just would have just asked a simple question with someone who's been there before, I could have saved thousands of dollars, years of time. But the problem was I had a big ego. I thought it would make it work right away. Didn't need help. I knew everything I needed to know. They didn't know nothing. So that's one of my biggest regrets for sure. So for me, those are your two best options. One is where you can do it on your own and test, do multiple products, get real data. And the other is get some help to learn from someone who has already done it before. Either one is 10 times better than just guessing and checking with a giant investment. I've seen this so many times. I've done this personally myself. You want to minimize risk as much as possible, especially when you're new and you don't know what you don't know yet. Now, option two is exactly what my AWA program does, because there's just not a lot of hands-on programs out there. They're just video courses that leave you on your own or don't cover everyone's unique situation. We literally will show you how to find those products, check those for you, find the winner, then refine that winner with a final check to make sure it's set up the best possible before you invest, along with showing you the entire roadmap from suppliers, launching, automating, and then scaling to $30,000 per month and on. Now, there's no pressure for this, guys. None at all. I just got to let people know about it, and it's got to be a fit for both sides. But if you are interested in this, the link down below to apply and book a call will be there in the description. You can just click that. We'll take you to a page to fill an application and schedule a time with me and my team. Otherwise, test your products before you do a major investment. Please, if you just do one thing, that's it. It doesn't have to be me. Just someone you mesh with, someone you trust, and someone who has done it before. And that's it, guys. Hope this helps. We'll see you on the next one.